Hey, this is Rob, and I am really excited to be here at a new location. We're here at the Edelman Suite right now, and I'm really glad to have Smita Reddy with us, who's back from her world tour after she just won the award for Best Session of the Year at the Brand Safety Summit. Smita, great to see you again.
I am so honored to be here. I mean, thank you for that esteemed honor. It was so much fun
How
being
many
part of
how
that.
many stops were on the tour?
This is my seventh
The
stop.
seven
No,
stop. Okay.
just
All right.
kidding.
Good. Just kidding. Just kidding.
But
Just kidding.
I
No.
am waiting for my trophy though,
I know.
just
I know.
so whenever that's coming in the
Uh,
mail.
PA. Uh, anyway, so it's amazing to be here. Look at this
Yeah.
backdrop. Look at where we are. When we're thinking about brand safety, and we're curating the news live from Cannes. And we think the reason it's important for us to be doing that is because when we think about brand safety in general, we think it's really about current events. Something happens in the world that relates to media. Ultimately, it's a conversation about brand safety. That's kind of how we think about it. Do you think that that's correct? Does that make sense to you to think about it that way?
Yeah, I mean, 100% from our world, coming from the earn space. I mean, we live and die by the news cycle, and I think in this era of, really brands stepping into the conversation on social issues, so much of what we're doing in counseling clients is and just like the news of the day that's happening in the moment at the speed of the news, at the speed of culture. So it really makes a lot of sense from a brand safety standpoint as well.
Makes sense. Good, good. We like that. Well, softball. Like, kind of, you just got here. What are you doing? What's the most interesting or spontaneous or exciting thing you've seen so far here in Cannes?
Well, like first, it's like Can is back, which is so exciting. And the thing that I'm like most surprised on day one in, we usually talk about all the talent that's on the stage, like Ryan Reynolds and Megan Thee Stallion, and it's amazing. But I've been to 3 panels today, and the topics on and the conversation around are what's happening around the world are overriding any celebrity, right? Like I went to a panel this morning that was about the war in Ukraine and how, us as brands and a creative community can help support Ukraine right now. Anything from abortion rights or gun violence, like we are tackling really big issues. And I think it's really exciting because I think, unfortunately, can sometimes get a bad rap. But like this is really some of the best work we're seeing is like picking up on big social issues and working to solve them.
Yeah, I mean, the industry is taking notice, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff going on in the world. A lot of news is happening, and I think that to be deaf to it wouldn't have made a lot of sense. So it's really important that the industry is taking notice. So you, Smitha, what do you want to accomplish while you're here? Like, what are some of the big things you want to get done this week?
Well, I think it is that to what I'd said about, really how do we help mobilize brands to really take action, and I think it's moving from just, brands having a purpose to really, taking action. We just launched our Gen Z study today and our brand trust study this today. And, Gen Z is really the driving force for this movement. We've reported in the past that they're a fearful generation. They are worried about money. They're worried about violence, gun violence, all these host of issues. But they're a generation that's really willing to take action, and that's actually influencing others. 83 or 84% of them are actually belief-driven buyers, which is way higher than Gen Pop. So I'm really looking forward to really mobilizing this creative community and how we can all take on issues and really inspire action. Another, proof point to that from a diversity, equity, and inclusion realm, we just launched some really exciting work for the brand Vaseline that I'm happy to announce that it won at Cannes this year.
Wow, congrats.
Thank you, thank you. And it's called the Vaseline See My Skin platform. And the insight behind that was that when you search for skin issues online, only 6% of the images that are actually shown up in search are of people of color.
Hmm.
And there's a huge gap in search and in medical and dermatology around treating people of color. So we created this platform, which is the world's largest database, where you can type in any sort of skin issue, be it skin cancer, eczema, and it will like actually talk about how to treat it on Black and brown skin. Really impactful work. It won in Health Lion, but I think that's a really good example of, you know, spotting an issue and really creating a solution and taking that action to create that solution.
I mean, it's amazing, and congratulations
Thank
again.
you.
And I can't wait to pick that conversation up. So we're going to be having during Brand Safety Week this year, we're going to be having our first DE&I event, and so pulling that conversation in, kind of seeing that's November, so we
Yeah.
can catch up and see how that's going.
Yeah, I would
Love to
love to.
pull it in. Yeah, for sure,
Absolutely.
for sure.
Absolutely.
Going back to Gen Z for a second,
Hmm.
with the new report, how do you think Gen Z is going to respond to their first ever recession?
I think it's like a really, I think first of all, Gen Z is pretty resilient. You have to actually realize that Gen Z, this is actually probably, they're going to be witnessing either their second or third recession. And that's also why they are a bit more cautious than other generations. They witnessed, their parents going through the recession of 2008. They witnessed in the beginning of COVID, right? Remember when we were all really concerned, there was all those job losses, people were taking pay cuts. So they witnessed their parents go through that. I think they might surprise us,
Yeah.
and I think they're much more resilient than we think, and in times of adversity, they really find a way to create action and meaning behind it.
Yeah, I'll be curious. They've never had to ride in a carpool because gas prices were high. We'll see how they
That's
deal
true.
with it.
That's true.
But it'll be kind of funny. So, in the spirit of the news, we want to get executives like
Yeah.
yourselves, POVs on things that are happening in real time. So, I don't know if you heard about. You probably did. This week, Twitter, Google, and Meta announced that they were going to be going after deep fakes in Europe to help with some of the deals they made with the European Commission. So, what is your perspective on what they're doing, and what are your perspective in general on the topic of deepfakes?
Well, it's super interesting, and like I always take it directly to the consumer point of view on this one. We work on the Dove brand, and they've done a lot of work around women and girls, especially girls, and how they're influenced on social media. We actually helped launch a campaign that launched a few weeks ago called Toxic Influence, and I think it's a really scary situation. As a mother of two young girls, they start seeing these images as young as 5 and 8, which are the ages of my two daughters, and so it's really concerning, and I do think it's important for legislation to get on top of that and really really ensure that we're making sure that our content is clean and safe for our kids. So
No,
really
totally.
important topic.
My girls are 9 and 11, so right there with you.
It's
It's
scary.
very scary.
Yeah.
It's very scary. And something else we're going to be tackling head on in November is how the platforms talk to parents, which is an
Uh,
interesting one that'll be coming together. So anyway, listen, thank you. This is always awesome
thank
to see
you.
you, and great work, great job, and congrats on the win.
Thank
Good
you.
stuff, and thank you everybody for watching. This is the news live from Cannes.